Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I appreciate it. My name is Randall. This is the McClures. We react, review, we make fun of, we laugh at stuff over here. We're checking out some information on Trump. He's gonna supposedly be indicted tonight, Monday, March the 20th, and arrested sometime this week for some crime that's not even a crime, because George Soros is very good at funding DAs, apparently. But let's get into this story. I'd like to see what everybody's talking about. We're gonna go to Fox first. They say that there's major holes in the Trump case, which obviously there are. Let's see what they're talking about, though.
XL 340D 320.
A 340D 222X. No one cares, bro.
Manhattan DA's office and has major doubts about the viability of the case. Former prosecutor Elliot Feelig is here to explain. Elliot, good morning. All right, you got three problems with this.
Three questions that have not been satisfactorily answered that make me really doubt the viability of this case and make me question the motivation behind this prosecution. First and foremost, the timing. The underlying acts occurred 7 years ago. They've been known publicly for 5 years. President Trump, Donald Trump, has been out of office for 2 years, so any presumable shield against prosecution is long gone. So why is this case being brought now? Is it just a politically motivated response to the criticism Alvin Bragg received from his former deputy?
Obviously, it's political. Obviously.
For not pursuing Trump for financial improprieties. That's what it looks like.
Okay. You also say that apparently somebody wrote a book. Right. About the situation, and literally attacked Mr. Bragg, and now this is payback.
Well, that's what it looks like. Why else would you wait 2 years that he's been out of office to bring this case, unless it's in the immediate aftermath of the criticism from that book? I'm also curious, though, why are we even in state court? These are federal election laws. Presumably, right. They're typically and almost exclusively prosecuted by either the FEC or the Department of Justice. I'm not aware of any legal theory whereby these acts would constitute a violation of state law, but not also federal law. The only inference here is that the FEC and the Department of Justice, the Biden Department of Justice, looked at these facts and said there is no viable case here. I don't know anyone who would argue with the straight.
Yeah, that's the thing, is the feds already tried to go after Trump for this and couldn't, get the legal muster to do it. They couldn't find the legal avenue to pursue to make it happen. So they had to drop it. And then years later, a state district attorney is going to pick up the same thing and try to run with the ball? That's crazy.
Straight face that Alvin Bragg is somehow a more competent or respected prosecutor than Merrick Garland. Merrick Garland passed.
Right. The feds passed. The DOJ passed. The Federal Election Commission passed. And now the local guy, who we've talked about with the crime situation here, he's going after him. You also suggest the John Edwards defense may come into play.
Absolutely. John Edwards was charged in 2011 under very similar circumstances in federal court, where it belonged, with violating campaign finance laws for having hush money sent to a former extramarital lover. His lawyers successfully defended the charge by saying, look, anyone would pay hush money, candidate or not a candidate, to spare themselves, their spouse, their family from embarrassment. That was a successful defense. It's a defense that's fully available here.
Right. So today the grand jury may hear from Robert Costello, who was an advisor to Michael Cohen. Right. And apparently Mr. Costello previously told the Wall Street Journal that Cohen told him he paid off Stormy Daniels to protect Melania, who had just had a baby, which was barren.
Right. Extremely unusual for grand jurors to hear from a defense witness. It's extremely unusual to even hear from a defendant himself or herself. That happened maybe in 2 or 3% of the cases I handled. But to hear from an actual defense witness, very, very rare. It's an uphill climb, though. So
ultimately, I read that the jury themselves will vote on whether or not to hear him. So we might not hear. Well, they might not hear.
That's possible. So first, the grand jurors have to vote if they want to hear from this witness. But remember, grand jury, very low bar. It's not like a trial. Trial, you need unanimous. You need beyond a reasonable doubt. Grand jury, you just need a majority of the grand jurors to say there's probable cause. So unless this defense witness blows everyone out of the water, unlikely to prevent an indictment.
Never boring. All right, Elliot, thank you very much for joining us.
My pleasure.
So regardless if the defense witness testifies in front of the grand jury, it's unlikely to stop any indictment coming out. So the indictment's definitely coming, and it's coming tonight. How does it play out in the future? That is the ultimate question there. Oh, where did the rest of those videos go? I guess I should have saved them. I guess I should have saved them. All right, well, we do want to see DeSantis' statement about Trump. Let's see what DeSantis says about the situation.
How safe are you and your family if your protective firearm is locked away, unloaded in a gun cabinet or...
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Megan from the Florida Standard. We wanted to know what your thoughts are on the rumored Trump indictment and if you have any role in it. If charges are brought on him, will you have any role in extradition to New York?
So I've seen rumors swirl. I have not seen any facts yet, and so I don't know what's going to happen. But I do know this, the Manhattan District Attorney is a Soros-funded prosecutor. And so he, like other Soros-funded prosecutors, they weaponize their office to impose a political agenda on society at the expense of the rule of law and public safety. He has downgraded over 50% of the felonies to misdemeanors. He says he doesn't want to even have jail time for the vast, vast majority of crimes. And what we've seen in Manhattan is we've seen the crime rate go up, and we've seen citizens become less safe. And so you're talking about this situation with, and look, I don't know what goes into paying hush money to a porn star to secure silence over some type of alleged affair. I can't speak to that. But what I can speak to is that if you have a prosecutor who is ignoring crimes happening.
That's kind of a funny little dig at Trump. He's like, no, look, I can't talk about paying off porn stars. I don't know anything about that specifically.
Happening every single day in his jurisdiction, and he chooses to go back many, many years ago to try to use something about porn star hush money payments. You know, that's an example of pursuing a political agenda and weaponizing the office. And I think that that's fundamentally wrong. I also think it's important to point out when you're talking about these Soros-funded prosecutors, yes, they may do a high-profile politicized prosecution, and that's bad, but the real victims are ordinary New Yorkers, ordinary Americans in all these different jurisdictions, that they get victimized every day because of the reckless political agenda that these Soros DAs bring to their job. They ignore crime and they empower criminals, and that hurts people. It hurts a lot of people every single day. These Soros district attorneys are a menace to society, and I'm just glad that I'm the only governor in the country that's actually removed one from office during my tenure.
Shout out to DeSantis for that one.
And in terms of we are not involved in this, won't be involved in this. I have no interest in getting involved in some type of manufactured circus by some Soros DA, okay? He's trying to do a political spectacle. He's trying to virtue signal for his base. I've got real issues I got to deal with here in the state of Florida. We're obviously shutting down CBDC, which is important. We've got so many things pending in front of the legislature. I've got to spend my time on issues that actually matter to people. I can't spend my time worrying about things of that nature. So we're not going to be involved in it in any way. I'm fighting for Floridians, and I'm fighting back against Biden. That's what I do every single day.
Now, you got to give it to DeSantis. He is an excellent speaker. He is an excellent speaker.
The best way to burn fat and get in shape. It's not keto.
He always has a good answer, and he's very good at playing the media. He's definitely good at playing the media. But everything in his statement was facts. So you can't knock anything that he said. It's definitely a George Soros-funded DA looking to earn his stripes, so to speak, and do what he was paid to do. Soros paid him to sow discord and hurt the justice system, so that is exactly what he's doing. That is exactly what he's doing. So I don't know. I think they are going to indict him. They are going they're going to give it a shot. They're definitely going to give it a shot. But I don't know how it's going to play out. What do you guys think is going to happen? Let me know in the comments what you think is going to go down or how you stand on the issue. All right, New York grand jury cancels Wednesday's meetings. So New York's grand jury canceled Wednesday's meetings. New York grand jury considering indictment of former President Trump has canceled its Wednesday's meeting, delaying the potential indictment. Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg, supreme douchebag, reportedly told the panel of jurors that they should still be on a standby to report on Thursday. The grand jury impaneled for Bragg's investigation typically meets Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Cancellation comes after Trump predicted over the weekend that he could be arrested as soon as Tuesday in connection with the probe. Now, one thing is interesting. If Trump didn't put out this statement, he was going to be arrested on Tuesday. Do you think anything would have changed? Or do you think that he would have already been indicted and arrested if he didn't put out the report? I think him putting out the report made them delay things because now they weren't going to be able to do it, in secret. It was going to be out in the open. Earlier this week, Fox News reported grand jury scheduled an additional witness on Wednesday. The report cited a law enforcement official familiar with the case who says he doesn't expect the indictment to come out until next week at the earliest. The officer also noted the logistical issues of closing down streets, putting lights up with generators, extra barriers, extra police, as well as public safety concerns as reasons for delaying the indictment. If the former president does come up to Manhattan, there will be major police presence and the area will get shut down. Trump has called his supporters to protest ahead of his possible indictment. So on Monday, authorities were seen erecting barricades outside of the Manhattan Criminal Court. Here's a little YouTube or Twitter video. And that was loud as shit. Why doesn't this work? Okay, so I can't adjust the volume. The unprecedented indictment hanging over Trump's head stems from a $130,000 hush money payment he allegedly made to a porn actress, Stormy Daniels, during the 2016 presidential campaign. That's another funny thing that I heard. The left supports prostitution, right? They want to legalize prostitution. Sex work is real work. All this, but yet they're mad at Trump for hiring a prostitute. So I'm not, how does that make any sense at all? So now it's a bad thing, or is it still a good thing? Prosecutors are expecting to charge Trump with a felony by arguing that the alleged crime was committed to hide an illegal campaign contribution. The potential problem for Trump centers around his company reimbursed former attorney Michael Cohen, who pled guilty to related charges and served time in prison. The payment to Daniels was listed as a legal expense, and Trump's company cited a retainer agreement with Cohen. The retainer agreement did not exist, and the reimbursement was not related to any legal services from Cohen, thus setting up the potential misdemeanor criminal charge of falsifying business records. A report by NBC News said that Trump personally signed several of the checks to Cohen while he was serving as president. Prosecutors argue that the second crime is that the $130,000 hush payment was an improper donation to the Trump campaign because the money was used to stop a story for the purpose of benefiting his presidential campaign. Well, that doesn't make sense. So the second crime is that the $130 hush payment was an improper donation to the campaign because the money was used to stop a story that would have hurt the campaign. Oh, okay, I see what they're saying. So Trump made an illegal contribution to his own campaign to help his campaign? Okay, that makes a lot of sense. That definitely makes a lot of sense. Yeah, so if anything, it's going to be a misdemeanor for not filing business paperwork correct. So it's a misdemeanor business typo from 7 years ago. And this is what the left is grasping on, holding on to with dear life to be able to get Trump not to run again in the next election in 2024. I don't know if you guys have seen any of the polls or anything recently, but Trump is killing it. And he's definitely going to get in. He's going to be the Republican Party nominee for sure. So we'll have to see where it goes. But let me know in the comments what you guys think about this Trump situation. It's obviously political persecution. I mean, they're trumping up charges that are kind of ridiculous and stupid. And they're going back 7 years to do it. Everybody has already tried to go after Trump for this. The DOJ tried to prosecute him. Everybody did. They couldn't find evidence to go after him. There wasn't anything there. All of a sudden, this Soros-elected DA gets in with a mandate to go after Trump. So he digs this out of the ditch and starts running with it. But let me know what you guys think of the situation. Let me know who you're going to vote for in the primary. Are we going DeSantis? Are we going Trump? What is your guys' philosophy? Who do you think is going to be better for the country? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Links in the description if you want to help support the channel. www.mcclures.store is my website. Check it out. We sell quality American products. See if we have anything that you need. If we don't have anything that you need, buy something you don't need. You know what I mean? All right, guys.